Leading the change is about to inspire the Gen X and other generations for change. It has been a long journey with our bosses and our parents, the boomers. They're about to retire, but they're still holding on tight. There are so many challenges out there. I'm talking about sustainability, environmental risk, overheated markets. I'm talking about meat production, poverty, and many more issues. I invite you to join the Lead for Change movement. I'm Andy Kiel, 42 years old. Based in Europe, I started my career in a Swiss bank, and with 30 I was already at the peak and member of the senior management team. Then I decided to become houseman and stay-at-home dad with the baby, and founded several companies in tech and also craftsmanship, which you see here. That's the datedesign.com factory for concrete design. So what's this leading thing about this change? Like what I'm talking about, it sounds like a US president slogan, isn't it? Well, I think it's time for change. The Gen X is currently between 40 and 55 years old. We have 20 plus year work experience. We are the generation who gets shit moving. We are the workhorses. We make the boomers shining. But we never got the visibility it deserves, because the baby boomers are too many, and on the other hand, we have the fancy Generation Y. But the Gen X is also truly digital. We adapted to the new world. We work everywhere. We work digital. We are digital. But we mainly followed the tracks of our predecessors. We, the Gen X, we fly as often as the boomers. We even use the plane to go to work. We are heavy spenders for our houses, for our tools, for our gadgets, for fashion. We are the best customers out in this world. On the other hand, we never got the responsibilities. The board of directors is still full of old white male. Furthermore, we are facing zero interest rates since almost a decade. We can't afford housing even though we are getting paid well. There are issues with the retirement schemes. And last but not least, it's about us and the future generations to carry the COVID-19 burden. Our generation and the boomers missed one essential point. It all comes with a cost. The cost has to be paid by us, the next generation and our grandkids. It's them alerting. There is not much time to act on climate and other issues. Just to make one thing clear, Lead the Change is not about complaining. Lead the Change is also not about blaming the boomers. Lead the Change is not a request to governments. Lead the Change is also no politics. Lead the Change is no populism, and it's not a belief thing. Lead the Change is acting, and Lead the Change is about to take on responsibility. With Lead the Change, we want to create a platform to use and reuse. You can have impact in so many different areas. You can have impact in your family, in your community. You can also have impact in the company you're working for. And you can also have impact on your social media channels. We can be role models. In fact, we are role models. In the future, we are going to interview topic specialists. We will ask them questions how an ideal world would look like. We also ask them what the real problem is, what the science behind is, but explained in simple words that everybody can understand. I would like to dream with these topic specialists, but I will ask them for specific advice what you and what we can do today and tomorrow to change. Let me point out some of the topics we want to cover. The main topic and overreaching and most important topic is the CO2 net zero targets. But there is also topics, for example, like equality and gender diversity, how we can overcome the unconscious bias. Then there is transportation and cargo. alternatives for cars, ships, airplanes. But there is also education. Many of us are parents and have kids who are going to school. The school hasn't arrived in the 21st century. I'm talking about daycare, digitalization of the training, etc. Another topic is the meat production and the poverty on this world. Related to that, if you look at the third world, the debts the third world owes to the first world, but also the refugee crisis we have all over the globe and especially at the Mediterranean Sea. We want to discuss sustainable architecture and building process, something we do here. But I also want to talk about softness and kindness. Somehow the rule got established that everything which is not forbidden is allowed. But there are ethical and moral standards out there. Do you have any topics to add? I'm more than happy to follow up and discuss it with you. Dear Gen X, there is so much to do out in this world. Take the responsibility. Let promote you. Take over the family business. Take over responsibility. Be bold. You can do it. Lead for change.